We all knew what was going to happen, but it's still disappointing when it does. I talked about on the last podcast that Barcelona keep hitting these new rock bottoms, well, these new bottoms at least. And whether it was Messi leaving or the Kool-Aids figuring out what was really happening with the club's finances, all of that fell off the field. All of that was in press conferences or tweets or things that didn't really affect the results. And as results started to sour, whether it was losing to Real Madrid, losing to Atletico Madrid, coming up short in the Liga race, or even failing in the Champions League time and time again, 8-2 against Bayern Munich felt like rock bottom. But falling to the Europa League is, for a lot of Kool-Aids, a new low. And this is where the things off the field that have been coming for months and months and years finally have come to fruition and put Barcelona in a pretty dark place for a lot of Kool-Aids. But with this match review, yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about the match, but I do want to say that this year is a process. This is part of that learning experience. And as much as it pains me to do this match review, I do so appreciate all the Kool-Aids that have stuck with me, that are going to continue to stick by the club. Because if you can stay with the club right now, down in the Europa League, down in 6th, 7th place in the Liga, when top 4 is still in question, when the club does return to its glory, which could be a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it really makes it all worth it. And you're going to see this project built from day one. But that unfortunately is a ways away because today we're stuck talking about the 5 headlines from Barcelona's 3-0 loss to Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Number 1, don't rely on others. It's an odd feeling for Kool-Aids. Usually it's they get first in the group, or if they do get second, it's because that first place team was the likes of Juventus or Bayern Munich, wherever it may be, that got first, Barca easily slide into second. But today, Kool-Aids had one eye or half an eye on the Bayern Munich game and another eye on the Benfica-Dinamo Kiev game, where it felt like if Barcelona were going to get through, it wasn't going to be because of any result they got against Bayern Munich. They would have to put all their faith in Dinamo Kiev. But with Benfica at home, it always felt like Benfica was likely to beat Dinamo Kiev, and they did beat Dinamo. After the Ukrainians completely whiffed on a chance, it was all Benfica. They scored 2 goals, the second of which came on a deflection from a Dinamo Kiev player right into the path of Gilberto, and he finished, and the game was done and dusted at that point. Benfica are moving on. As I said, it's been 21 years since Barcelona failed to get out of the group stage of the Champions League, so it is a foreign feeling to so many, especially young Barcelona fans on social media or here on YouTube, where they've learned about the club and got accustomed to the club in the last 10 to 15 years. Having Ronaldinho in a lot of cases maybe be the earliest when they jumped on board. And so for Barcelona in the state they're in to be relying and watching some other game, yeah, it was just an odd thing for me, and I didn't like it at all. 2, and this could have been headlines 1 through 5, is that Barcelona, at the moment, are a level below. And what that means is that for me, I try my best, whether it's Real Betis or Villarreal, in the Liga, when Barcelona are against teams that they should be getting results against, you try to track the progress of individuals and the team concept. But against Bayern Munich, when so many of the individual players are just better than what Barcelona have to put on the field due to personnel, financial troubles, they can't buy players, and all those different things, and injuries. Ansu Fati, I don't want to miss all that. Pedri as well. Barcelona are just a level below those teams contending in the Champions League. And playing against Bayern Munich, there is so little I can find and pick from to say that's progress. That's something that we can learn and take into the next game. But against a team like Bayern, there's so little I can use. And what's worse, the failures of individual players get put under a microscope. Dest did not have it against Alphonso Davies. He has struggled a bit this year. I think that he has a ways to go to learn. But clearly against Alphonso Davies, a player that he's done well against when playing for the U.S. men's national team and Davies with the Canadian national team, but those are just gifs and memes on the internet. Alphonso Davies was all over Dest tonight in the 45 minutes Dest was on the field, and he had no shot. He just looked not as good. And then Mengueza, who came on for Alba, who looked okay, even though he was dealing with that hamstring injury that was reinvigorated. Mengueza, boy oh boy. Bayern Munich score minutes after Mengueza hits the field, both he and Langley at the back post being Muller. There's no excuses there. It's a 2v1 on that kind of ball. That should not have been a goal. I don't want to hear anything about PK trying to defend the cross, whatever. Mengueza, he was behind Muller in the wrong position, and Langley didn't even jump to potentially take Muller off it. Not even close. Dest came off at halftime, which was pretty deserved, and clearly Barcelona had to change something up, so they go to Nico Gonzalez. But for Dest, he could find himself losing minutes to Dani Alves in short order. And then Barcelona are going to be on the transfer window looking for a replacement. That's the place where he is after a match like this, which is unfortunate because, as you know, I really like the American. I want him to do well at Barcelona, and Barca can save a lot of money if he can make improvements. But after a game like this, it feels like those improvements are a long, long, long ways away, and I don't think this Barcelona team can wait for him. 3 was Leroy Sané in the middle. The only tactic I guess I could take out of this was the fact that the middle of the field was controlled by Bayern Munich, and therefore they controlled the game. Nico started on the bench, so it was just those 3 midfielders of Gavi, who was everywhere, De Jong, who was I don't know where, and Busquets, who picked up an early yellow, and that kind of dictated the game. Gavi was fighting and pressing every pass, but that press isn't far along enough to do anything against Bayern. Barca chose instead to settle into a medium block and make Sula beat them by taking that space in front of Busquets, and he did that quite a few times. But unfortunately, while again I do understand the tactic, making Bayern's worst passer beat you is a good idea, but I think it also helped Bayern find the match. And unfortunately, Barca have neither the legs nor the personnel to turn Bayern over. And so when Thomas Müller was man-marking Busquets almost out of that game, the minute the ball was turned over, Leroy Sané could come off the wing, set up shop in the middle. Busquets had to immediately worry about Müller on a turnover. Lewandowski somewhere up top as well, contending with the center backs. And so Barcelona were not winning the numerical advantage. And if there's one thing that Xavi said he wants to do, it's win those numerical advantages. And so you ask those questions. Is it tactics? Mostly is it personnel? But for Barcelona, what lesson can you learn from don't leave Thomas Müller or Leroy Sané open in the middle of the field? It's not really a lesson there. 4, chances unfinished. This one's a bit unfair because there are certainly other games in the Liga where you say that was a prime chance that should have been finished. Dembele had the one, he had to at least get it on target. It was from a little bit of ways away. I think Neuer actually had it under control, but Dembele, you got to get that one on goal. Dest should have had his on goal, but other than that, Barca didn't really have too many other chances. It's not even about chance creation. As I said, Barca saw so little of the ball, and even if they did, it wasn't really in good spots. The one bright side is the fact that Dembele, who I don't mean to get too negative here, but yeah, Dembele could leave for a free in the summertime if a renewal is not worked out. And it is a sad thing to see because playing on that left wing, you saw how much more dynamic he was next to Memphis than Coutinho usually is. Dembele was an option to go around Pavard. Pavard did win that matchup 1 or 2 times, but Dembele usually required some help. And there was that one instance where he went right down Main Street as well, trying to create some action through the middle. Dembele's speed is something that top-level teams need. And for Barcelona, having Dembele to not having Dembele is night and day. And I guess one of the positives I can take is that if Dembele is fit enough, and that's a huge big if Dembele is fit enough to start the Liga matches too, that puts Barcelona in a good spot to be better and be quicker and be more dynamic than their opposition in Spain. And 5 is to the Europa League. It's where the disappointment is. It's where the club is right now. But I tell you on the internet, Kool-Aids, if it's your friends who are Real Madrid fans or Bayern or Arsenal or Chelsea or Manchester United, whoever it may be, wear with pride the fact that you're still FC Barcelona. The crest still means the same thing, whether in the Champions League or the Europa League. The Europa League, I know it gets a bad rap, but just because Barcelona isn't Bayern or Juventus, well, Juventus has their own problems, but whether they're not Man City or PSG or Bayern Munich, Barcelona are still one of the top and biggest clubs in the world who are owned by their club members in the socios, and that is still a club to be proud of. Barcelona are going to have some tests in the Europa League. It could be Atlanta or Villarreal, Borussia Dortmund. There are good teams in the Europa League. Ask Atletico Madrid, ask Sevilla from the last decade. That's a hard trophy to win, and Barcelona may not win it. That said, it's a competition that I think we should take seriously. And I think we shouldn't roll our eyes at it and say it's just that other thing that's happening on Thursdays. Take the Copa seriously, take the surge to top 4 seriously, and take the Europa League seriously. That's where Barcelona is right now, and if they can be a better team than they are at this very moment going forward, that's something that I'm going to sign up for. Of course I'm going to sign up for. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Unfortunately, yeah, missing out on that Champions League money stinks, but 1.3 billion in debt won't go away overnight. It'll take years of revenue at the gate. And Xavi can help with that by having this team play better as the season goes on and getting people excited about this team. This Europa League conversation is something that we'll be talking about for weeks and weeks too. So instead of throwing out any hot takes, I'm just going to direct you to the future and coming podcasts over the next few weeks. We do have a podcast coming out in a few hours. I'm not sure if it'll be more positive or negative than this match review was, but at least it'll be something that, as they say, misery loves company. So that'll do it for this match review, 3-0. I know we're disappointed, but we carry on. And what's the most important thing we say here? Forza Barça.